Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Hello friends, and welcome to Fairfield Today. Paul Jasson with you. We are downtown in the lobby of Fairfield Federal, and we want to thank the Sherman House, who last week we were able to be up there with Michael Johnson to do that wonderful show up there about the Sherman Saber. We hope you enjoyed that. It was quite a moment for Shane and myself to be even a chance to see and to talk about that. But now we're back to it, and it's no lack of interesting and exciting things happening here in Lancaster and Fairfield County. And another one is coming up this weekend, Friday and Saturday. It's Bottoms Up, and not the diaper drive. We don't want to be confused there. It's Bottoms Up. We'll tell you what that's all about. We've got David Annecy here. David, welcome.
Thank you, Paul.
Good to have you here, brother.
Always a pleasure.
Bottoms Up, it's a quite the historical glass, I guess, museum introduction to a lot of people who maybe don't know about a lot of this.
Sure. So the grand idea of Bottoms Up is we are a glass town, and we were trying to figure out what way can we help celebrate our authentic glass town history, but in a fun and exciting way. So we came up with this 3-day event on June 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, so this coming Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We are going to have over 50 events scheduled across 3 days in 6 blocks of downtown Lancaster. And it's the first time a national event of this kind has ever been held about mid-century culture, specifically focusing on glassware, which is something that we can own right here in Lancaster as a glass town. So we have thousands of people coming from all over the United States, coast to coast, coming right here to Lancaster for that 3-day celebration.
So what was the genesis in you and Jason's mind about Bottoms Up? Why was this something you wanted to highlight?
So in the course of the last couple of years of reviving GayFad Studios, which was a historical glass company right here in Lancaster, we've been traveling the country doing mid-century shows. And as we met people and talked to them, we realized so few of those people have ever learned our Glasstown history, or even the history of Ohio as the mecca of glassware production. And we thought we could really own that concept and do something that many people love, which is mid-century culture, whether it's mid-century modern or tiki or anything within the 1950s, 60s era, that we could try to celebrate that right here in our own community. And that was kind of the driving factor behind creating this national event.
And there's going to be some great moments within these 3 days, this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday coming up here. Yeah. We'll talk about a few of them. One of them is Fran Taylor. We always love to mention Fran as sort of the genesis with the GayFad Studios, got all this going. Certainly the groundbreaking person that you guys look up to so much, who looked ahead so far and saw what was important in the company she built. And there's actually a good connection with her coming up with this.
Absolutely. If it wasn't for Fran, we would not be here. We would have never had the opportunity to revive GayFad Studios. In addition to Fran not only founding the company and having such a visionary approach to the business so that we could actually revive it 60 years later and follow that vision, we also owe a lot to her daughter, Dr. Stephanie Taylor, because she gave us her blessing to do this. And this coming weekend, Dr. Stephanie Taylor is going to be here, Fran's daughter. So we're excited to welcome her to Lancaster and make her feel like royalty while she's here, and let her truly experience all the amazing things that have happened from her generosity of allowing our community to re-own and re-celebrate her mother's legacy company. So we are very excited to welcome her.
Now, was she born in Lancaster? Does she have any kind of Lancaster history herself?
She does. So I believe she was born either in Lancaster or Canal Winchester.
But while Mom was still here with this?
Yes. So she was born in 1951. Fran owned GayFad until 1962.
Okay.
So she grew up in the area and is very fond of the Lancaster community.
What a wonderful connection here. So that's going on. There's going to be more about this. You'll see this on social media. It'll be everywhere. It'll just blow up as we get to this week, and it's so exciting. Now, you're also bringing in a guest artist, Shag, who's coming in from Palm Springs, California, who you made a little connection with over the past year or so.
Yeah, we were very fortunate traveling out to Palm Springs Modernism Show. We met Shag there. He was very impressed with the quality of glassware that we're able to produce today with GayFad. And we started a relationship working with him. And while we were doing that, we said, hey, we have this really cool barware show that we're going to host. Would you like to be part of it? And he said, absolutely. Sounds amazing. Count me in. So that whole weekend, Shag is going to be coming through. He has a exhibit at the Decorative Arts Center. There are 12 pieces of his artwork throughout the entire basement. And that exhibit will be there June, July, and August. He's going to do a pop-up store with all of his products right here in Zane Square on Saturday and Sunday. And Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock, he's going to do an hour-long presentation about his life as an artist on the 3rd floor of the Fairfield County Library. So we are excited to welcome this true mid-century artist who is a celebrity in his own right, coming all the way from California down here to little old Lancaster, Ohio.
And he indicated he wanted to get involved in this.
Yes. He is a huge proponent of mid-century culture and tiki culture, and the unique aspect of what we're doing is it's truly the first time that mid-century barware and glassware has truly been the highlight of an event. Most of these mid-century events across the country are about all things mid-century, furniture, clothing, anything as a broad category.
Sure.
And we're saying,
Mad Men kind of stuff.
Correct. And we're trying to really put glassware as the feature of the whole event.
Well, and I know the Glass Studio, the Glass Museum across the street from you boys' store right there is going to be open, and they're going to be, I know they've been, we had Dan Singer on a couple of weeks ago here on Fairfield Today. They've revamped things, redone things. It's going to be almost a grand opening for them at the same time this is going on for you. So this is really going to be a moment downtown for Lancaster, not only down for you, but the Glass Museum and up here Decorative Arts.
Yeah, so just a really quick highlight, we have over 50 events across 3 days within 6 blocks, 40 downtown businesses participating. So just like Wands and Wizards and Art Walk and many other large downtown events, we had so many small businesses say, I love this, I want to be a part of it. And they're all going to offer some kind of mid-century tiki special. So whether it's a restaurant, a bar, a retail store, you will have a mid-century experience all throughout downtown Lancaster. In addition to that, Jason and I are going to host a 3-day vendor show where we brought vendors in from all over the country who are going to sell their mid-century modern and tiki wares up at the Masonic Lodge on South High Street. So we have 26 vendor booths that'll be set up there. Other key things are classes. We've worked with local businesses and other experts who are coming into town to talk about how do you make cocktails and mocktails and garnishes, and how do you do ice cutting at home.
50s and 60s.
Yes, if you're really into barware culture and making cocktails and mocktails, we're trying to provide all the educational classes and experiences of how you can learn and perfect that craft. The Glass Museum is also going to do glass blowing classes for stemware and glassware. And it's really just anything to celebrate that era. We've also brought in 10 experts to talk about anchor hocking, Libby glassware. We'll do a presentation on GayFad. We have someone coming in who's going to talk about the history and lore of the Kahiki Supper Club out of Columbus.
Oh.
So if anybody remembers the Kahiki out of Columbus.
Everyone remembers.
Our really good friends, Todd and Doug, are the resident experts on that. They've written all the books that are currently published. They will be doing a presentation at the Fairfield County Library from 1 to 2 p.m. on Saturday.
Is that on Broad Street? Or East Main, maybe?
It was well before my time.
Well, I can remember being right there across the street from it, or in it, but it might have been on Main Street.
Sure.
But it was right there. But what a moment in history.
Yes. So not only are they going to do a presentation about the history of that, they have partnered with O'Hood's Gaelic Pub and are literally going to turn O'Hood's into a tiki bar and restaurant that weekend, reviving original cocktail and food recipes from the Kahiki. So there will be parts of the Kahiki culture that will be revived right here in downtown Lancaster by the experts who have written all the books, and they knew the family that owned it and actually got all of those cocktail recipes from them and know exactly how to recreate those beloved cocktails.
When you and Jason, I don't know how many years ago, when the little germ of an idea came to you boys about doing this, did you ever, I mean, this has got to be the max, a moment for you thinking that if I could ever get anywhere near this, it'd be amazing. And now, look at this.
We never could have imagined. If you would have asked us 5 years ago, I would have told you that you're crazy, because never thought we'd own a retail store, revive a historical glass company, or host a national show. And it just seems like the further we get along, the more excitement that builds, the more connections we make.
More doors
and as
open.
we see those potential and the opportunities, we just go for it. And the best thing for us is that people have jumped on board and supported those efforts. I mean, to think that we have all the museums downtown, almost all the businesses, we have over 30 sponsors for the event, and 21 national vendors, 10 presenters, 2 guest artists. I mean, all of this has come together since the end of February. So in a very short period of time, our whole community has really pulled their weight and come together to put on this national show. So we're so proud of our local community here in Lancaster, and we're very excited to make this an annual event that we can continue to grow and improve and put Lancaster on the map.
So it's this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. How can people get involved, get tickets? I know a lot of it's free, a lot of it's just look at. How can people get into this?
Yeah, so if they go to our website, gayfedstudios.com, we have a toggle button for Bottoms Up event. If you click on that, it'll take you all the way through a main menu to tickets and events.
You can get them right there.
Yep, yeah, you can get all the tickets online, and we've actually partnered with Visit Fairfield County, our tourism board, and they have all the tickets for sale on their website. So Jeanette and her team have been an amazing partner helping us really make this event possible. So you can find information on our website or go to visitfairfieldcounty.org and see all of the information and events and get your tickets for Bottoms Up.
Thanks to you and Jason for what you do.
Yeah.
Very good. We'll be right back on Fairfield Today.
The Lancaster Festival is back for its 40th and best season yet, with visual artists and star-studded concerts. The festival is an amazing experience for all ages, featuring dozens of free and paid ticketed events, including concerts with country star Lee Bright, legendary pop group Wilson Phillips, and much, much more. To see a full schedule and purchase tickets for festival events, visit lancasterfestival.org today.
The staff that have been here know what it takes. They've been on the other side. They see what it takes to make someone comfortable, to make the family comfortable, and really what kind of support they need. And so I think that's what really makes Fairhope what it is.
I want a doctor who listens to me.
From primary care to specialty medicine, we put your needs first by treating you like a person, not a number. Our primary care team will help you identify your healthcare needs and set goals for success, regardless of where you are in your wellness journey. We care for patients of all ages, with offices that are close to you. Whatever you're searching for, you can find it at Fairfield Medical Center.
What I like about my job as a prevention supervisor is I'm able to help train our staff along with working with our schools and building those relationships within our school districts in Fairfield County. And then also I like that in my position, I'm able to hire interns that are going into the social work field so they have that opportunity to step into the field before just starting their degree right off the bat.
This job really gave me a chance to work on some of the bigger systems issues. So making sure that we're an equitable system, that we treat everybody fairly. So people of color, people who have experienced trauma, people who have been through poverty, LGBTQ youth. So it's been really good for me because I've gotten to work not just with individuals, but also working on some of those bigger systems within our county and throughout our state.
I am driven by my belief that every individual deserves an opportunity to achieve mental and emotional balance, and I'm very passionate about contributing to that process.
I like the people that I work with and that I meet every day. I often feel that I am meeting these really driven people who want to make a difference in their community, and it's very inspiring to me.
Community, connections, collaboration. The Fairfield County Way.
Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Our people make the difference. Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do. Stop by today at any of our 3 locations and see why the difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you.
Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
I think about every time we come on, I mentioned, well, it's almost Lancaster Festival time. Well, it is almost Lancaster Festival time, and now we actually have somebody on that can back up what I'm saying about it. One of the premier events, maybe the premier event in Fairfield County for 40 years, the Lancaster Festivals. Enter Deb Connell, Executive Director for the Lancaster Festival. 40 years.
40 years.
You've been around all 40 of these?
Yeah, obviously I started as a toddler. No.
40 years, I mean, I think back when the first one with Christian Badia and the kind of a taped together festival orchestra, and you thought, this is great. It was modeled after, I think, something down in maybe South Carolina, the event down there, and this is cool. We'll just see how this goes. Well, now 40 years later, and it's got a life of its own. It's amazing.
It does, and the impact on the community, the identity of the community, it's become a part of the community. I've said a couple of times, you can't separate the 2 now. It is art, music, and community, and the festival's a big part of that.
I would imagine that there are people that each year call you and say, how did this all work out so big? I mean, we'd like to get something started, but we just can't get the traction. And maybe there's no secret to it. Maybe it's just volunteers and people working hard, and 40 years later, here we are.
I get those phone calls at least a couple of times a year. Other communities that want to start the same thing or have an idea for some sort of art and music festival or one or the other. And when I get to the point where I say, we have 475 volunteers that give their time to the festival, they say, well, our community won't ever support that. And that's why we have been here for 40 years.
If you'd have much more of a paid staff, it'd been far more difficult.
Right. Most people don't know that we run on 2 full-time employees and 1 part-time employee. That's us. Everybody else is either a seasonal worker, a contractor, or a volunteer, and that's what is the magic of the festival, for sure.
So it's 40 years. Tell us about the 2 big Saturday night draws this year.
The first Saturday night, we have Wilson Phillips. Yeah. Great, 90s pop icons. You'll know them because 2 of them, their father is Brian Wilson for the Beach Boys, and one of them, their parents are Michelle and John Phillips
Mamas and the Papas.
The Mamas and the Papas. And they do perform a few of those select pieces from the Beach Boys and the Mamas and the Papas. But
they can stand alone. They've got their own careers.
Yeah, incredible voices, incredible talent. They do already have orchestrated a full orchestra show. I haven't gotten their set list yet, so I'm not exactly sure every single thing that they're playing. But they're going to be doing a lot with the orchestra, and that is great.
Second week?
Second week is country star Lee Brice. The community is so excited for him. He's got some great songs out there. He's got a very positive attitude. He loves performing in front of a crowd, and this will be his first time performing with an orchestra. He's very excited about
Gary's
that.
had to do a lot of this on this
Gary's going to write some charts for him of some of his prettiest songs that an orchestra can back, and so it should be a really good show. He's really great at crowd interaction. So we're looking forward to that.
We love that.
We love that.
Tell them it's Lancaster and not Lancaster.
I put a little sign in their green rooms that says, there's a kiss in the middle. And they get it every time.
Very good. So those are the big kind of opening event, not the opening event, but the first Saturday, the second Saturday. Things still kick off up at St. Mary's?
Kicks off at St. Mary's on July the 18th.
Beautiful concert.
Opening night, and it is going to be a look back at 40 years of the festival. So some of the most amazing pieces that the orchestra has done over the 40 years of the festival.
Tickets still available? I know
tickets are still
I'm
available.
amazed. Get them now because they won't be there long.
Yes, everything is selling really well this year, so we're really happy with that. It will be a beautiful, beautiful night up there.
A couple of the other nights I think of is always a jazz night.
This year we have the entire Columbus Jazz Orchestra coming. So Byron is the artistic director and the conductor of the CJO, and this year we invited the entire orchestra to come down. So it'll be a really, really special night.
And then the what's turned into maybe other than the two festival nights, maybe the big night is the tribute band night, which is what, the Wednesday
night
between.
Yep, we have Who's Bad, the ultimate Michael Jackson experience. So get your dancing shoes out. I know you know Michael Jackson's moves.
I've heard of him. I watch the old Ed Sullivan reruns, and I watch him when he was about 5, 6 years old.
And the great thing is this group has been performing as a Michael Jackson tribute for 20 years. They are so good, and they nail every dance move. They nail every note. Their lead singer, I can't believe that he can hit the range that Michael Jackson could.
That's pretty there.
They're very
I'm not sure
good.
Michael Jackson could hit that now.
Yeah, well, not now.
Not now, but so that's always turned into such a. Again, I can remember when it was Zydeco and it was lots of stuff going on. Then they changed it to tribute night, and man, the crowds now are just huge.
Yeah, it is, and I think everybody loves it because it's a fun, casual, a little bit more relaxed and low key evening. And we love it. We bring in some food trucks, and we, everybody just comes out to have a good time together.
It's an exciting time. You ever get in the course of an entire festival, from the St. Mary's thing to the last Saturday night, numbers of people? Is there ever a number that you can come up with?
So last year we gathered a lot of data behind the scenes. We had some people with clickers, and we really paid attention to ticket counts. And we had about 50,000 people in attendance overall. And that includes a lot of people not from our community. So it is a huge visitor driver for the community as well. We had a lot of visitor spending last year. So there's a lot of people that just come and hang out with us because of the festival.
And again, you talk about volunteers, but this has to be a regional event or a bigger event to make it survive this long.
Absolutely.
And it has become that.
Yeah, last year we sold tickets in 77 out of 88 Ohio counties and 26 states across the United States.
Oh man, that's, again, Lancaster Festival, the Lancaster Festival. It's pretty remarkable. Now I can remember last year when I got I get both tables, and I got my thing in there. There was I think it was there I saw this, a sheet of paper in there about what you can now bring and what you cannot bring, and I'm sure a lot of this had to do with safety and just the overall safety of an event, because that's a very big thing I know with you all is making sure that there are no problems here. But now there are some changes last year, and they continue this year.
Yeah, the changes that we made last year worked really well. What we did was we removed glass from things that were allowed into the concert site, because we, both in the artist writers, they prohibit glass from being brought in. And it was just a safety issue with the crowd. We've got that many people out there. They're having a good time. They're dancing. They're taking their shoes off and dancing up on the hill. And people were getting cut by glass that could have been left from a previous concert, and we didn't see it when we were trying to clean up the site. And last year went really well. We had no incidences of cuts. We had, one little group of glass about this big that we had to pick up, compared to 2 great big cardboard boxes full of glass shards in years past. So we're happy with it. There were very few complaints about it. People were great about complying with it. So glass is still prohibited.
So I assume you don't have too much problems at the ticket taking thing. Where
No.
people know where it's not going beyond here, so that's good.
Yeah, we had containers that people that forgot or didn't realize that they couldn't bring glass could switch anything that they had to glass. And we'll have those again this year. We didn't have to use many of them last year. People were really great about complying.
Ticket sales good for the overall event. Things looking good. We're not on it yet, but like I say, St. Mary's, you got to get your tickets early. There's certain events are limited seating.
Right.
It's not like the festival where anything goes. So certain events, the jazz thing, there are just some events that sell out.
Right, there are. The ones that we do inside, of course, have a limited number of seats that we can have in a venue. The cafe concerts that we do out at Cheers, they're very limited in number. I think we can fit about 180 people in each one of those concerts.
Pretty tight on that. I mean, when you hit it, you hit it.
Yep. When we hit it, there's not a whole lot that we can do with it
Sure.
to add anybody else in. But like you said, the 4 concerts that we do at the Wendell concert stage, we've never hit our maximum yet. I'm hoping to one day.
I think on a couple of those, maybe on the Beach Boy things, I don't know how, when I looked at the traffic backed way out past the Rockside Winery out there waiting to get in, I thought, how can they get any more people in here? I look up on the hill and, oh my goodness.
It was, yeah. And that is my favorite part of the festival, is standing in front of that crowd and looking at what we did.
From the stage, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's when I get my my feel good moments of the year.
Yeah. So, well, congratulations to you and your enormous staff. That 10, 12 dozens of people that paid people that work for you down there, or no, is it 2?
There are 2 full-time employees, but we have about 60 staff members that are seasonal, from stage crew to site crew to hospitality to. But they just come and work in July.
It's volunteers, and we know they do the work. I see people wearing their volunteer shirts around. Even in the off season, they wear them around because they're proud of it, and should be.
I love to see that
and
too.
should be. So, Deb Connell, Executive Director of the Lancaster Festival. What's the phone number down there?
740-687-4808.
And look your search engine up. A lot of information on there. Order tickets online. Can you get that?
LancasterFestival.org.
It's a great website. Lots of stuff on there to do. I imagine once you start doing that, probably the phone calls will cut way down to your office.
What's that?
Because they can order tickets online.
Oh yeah,
we
see the majority of our sales are online now. But if you come into our office or you call and do it by phone, there's no ticketing fees. Okay. So it's actually a little less expensive to do it in the office than it is online.
I'm glad I saved a little bit by doing that.
Yeah, there you go.
Deb Connell. Looking forward to it. We'll do our live show down there this week. We'll get you. We'll talk about Gary Sheldon especially at that time, because that's something to talk about on this with the maestro coming up here for the 40th anniversary of the Lancaster Festival. Congratulations on being involved in this. Looking forward to a super year.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on today.
Deb Connell, Lancaster Festival. Thanks for joining us on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.